This is J. Krishnamurti's third discussion with teachers and students at Brockwood Park, 1969.
So we have been talking about whether or not it would be possible to talk to Mr. Morton or some of the people who are going to beat the bushes in order to kill the pheasants. And some of us here think that it...
I think that may be a very good idea if you could talk to Mr. Merton. Merton is it?
Morton. But the problem is that we don't know how to go about it.
Go to his house.
We don't want to just put our ideas over on him.
Why not? Go to his house, he's there. A delegation of you. Huh?
Well, it's already gone into quite considerably.
Oh.
Because, yes.
That's where the question of confusion is.
You see, before we could buy the house, we had to agree to some of his terms, which were that beaters could come in 5 times a year. And he wouldn't sell the house. We got caught on that. And so in order to have the house...
You have to let them shoot here.
Not shoot, but it's the same thing really. It allows the peasants to be beaten out into their ground where they will shoot them.
So in other words, what happened is when you bought the place, you made an agreement that you didn't agree to.
Not quite. We saw the whole situation and we wanted this house. And unless we could meet some of his terms, he wanted to shoot on it, which we said no to completely. We went as far as we could and still have the building, get this building. We had to meet his terms if we wanted it. And it was the same with every house that we came in contact with. You're living in a place where you must recognise what goes on here.
But suppose we, as a group, went to his house with unofficially, not legally, said, "Look, sir, this is terrible what's happened. Can't you let us alone in peace?" Would there be any harm in that?
Well, that's where the problem of communication comes in, because we may be wrong, but we have a feeling...
What do you mean we may be wrong? I'd like to go after there.
Sorry?
I mean, what is wrong in it? If some of us go there and say, "Look, please," where's the confusion in this?
But we've already accepted it.
I know, but you can always go back and say, "Look, can't you reconsider it?"
Then he's going to say, "Why?"
What?
Well, then we express him.
If he says, "Buzz off," we buzz off. And there is no more to be said.
Some of us wanted to do that, and then some of others said that he will feel attacked and that we should find a way to express what we feel about it, but in such a way that he won't feel too much, and that...
No, but you go in there politely, kindly, respectfully, everything, and say, "Please, sir, don't." If you say, "Sorry, this is a legal thing we have agreed to," then you walk out. It's finished.
Yes.
I don't see quite what's harm in this, do you?
I don't see any harm in this, except that we have done that.
But
And he has bred very carefully hundreds of pheasants. So that expresses
I can see them, dozens, hundreds of them.
And also, you see, it's not only Mr. Morton, it'll be the hunt.
I know, but he's the main person.
Well, I don't know if he is. He might be.
Well, he is, of course.
Yes.
He's the man. He owns all the land here.
He's the one who has the right to apply for the license, even if he applies for other people. But he is the one who has to do it. The thing is, I think that a lot of us feel that if we went to him and talked about it, we have confusion in ourselves about the whole question of hunting. I think we see the violence that is still in ourselves.
I know. I wouldn't go into all that. I would just go up to him and say, "Look, sir, this is what is taking. You're going to kill here. Please, would you consider, though it's legally, etc." See what he says.
It's a difference too, to go to him. You see, at first we started by saying we've invited him here. I think that's very different. And we go to him.
Go to him,
Yes,
much better.
Yes, much better. And he's a fairly open person, isn't he? Don't he would listen. And our going to him would be much more
Dignified,
yes,
more polite.
Yes.
I think one of his arguments will be, and was, that the firs, the 6 acres, the grove over there, is an area that he didn't want to sell us in the beginning. And we insisted on it. And he said, well, it's a place where all the birds gather. It's a favourite place for the pheasants.
Thank God.
And he said, I want it because it's part of my hunting. And we said, well, we want it too. So that's why the thing. Now he will say, well, all my pheasants, his pheasants that he will have bred, will be coming to our grove.
So, but
Yes.
what's the harm if
I
I
said,
go?
there's no harm. No,
None
I
at
agree.
all.
I agree.
Why should I be? I may be violent, personally, but we want to save those animals. So we go there. We go to him and say, please.
Well, we discussed one time earlier this year making Brockwood a sanctuary.
Yes.
A place where animals
Marvellous.
could be hunted. And this is a big problem. I don't think they include it. It's just that beaters can come in. I don't think fox hunters use beaters.
No.
I think it was just
It's
for
just
the pheasants.
And it's worth discussing, which is, can one take action without being able to be certain one is totally free of any...
Then you can't act at all.
Oneself, because then one comes to a grinding halt, more or less.
Then we can't act at all. Unless I'm totally freed from violence, I can't go to Mr. Morton and say, please, don't kill shoot the animals. Without being possible.
But can each one of us say, yes, I am totally free of violence?
No.
We cannot wait until we are free for everything to act, because otherwise we would just stay here and discuss all day long.
I think we could watch how we go to him. And I think a great deal depends on how it's presented to Mr. Morton. I mean, if you give him the feeling that...
we really care for the...
Yes, and not that... I've had a slight feeling that so far that we were sort of wholly allowed a little, and I think it's very difficult to know how to do that. I mean, if we'd invited him here and then we all sit around and say who's going to talk to us,
I couldn't do that. That couldn't.
it would
No,
be quite
that
impossible.
would. That would be impossible. I would get up and walk out. But if we went to him and said, look.
Yes, and discuss it nicely.
Yeah.
Say, can we come over and discuss something that we feel very strongly about?
Of course, at one point, communication means two sides are communicating, and so therefore, if one goes, he's going to make some arguments himself. You see, and if one goes without being ready to listen to them, this will block the communication. You see, so for example, he may well say that these animals would probably die of starvation or something anyway. You see, various arguments are given. There are far too many of them for what can be.
So, but what we are concerned is that they shouldn't be shot on display. Full stop, where they kill them. You know what I mean? We can't.
Well, what I was concerned about it being on display somewhere.
Okay, but
One problem bigger than that. And why are we only concerned about our property?
you can't prevent all the people from shooting, can you?
They could come and say to us, why do you try to prevent us? Why didn't you join us? And they could object to our attitude too.
So we have to look
Very
at the
interesting.
That means we must stop killing all animals. No wars. That's a bigger problem. But We are concerned with the immediate problem in a certain place called Brockwood Park, where Mr. Merton has the right to slaughter animals and birds. And we're going to him and say, please sir, would you kindly consider, because we want to create this into a sanctuary, this is cool, we are vegetarian. It all depends how you put it. No?
Yes, but this problem has made us aware of the larger problem also.
That's a different matter. Mr. Merton is concerned with the larger problem.
And we wanted to make him concerned.
If we are concerned with the larger problem, that's quite a different issue.
I question that. I question whether one can or should go to Mr. Morton in order to make him aware of it.
That's not our concern.
Exactly, it's not our concern. He may make it his concern. We might go to him and talk to him and say all that we feel strongly. He might listen. And he then might make the deeper issue his concern. But we can't go to him and say, look, you realise what you're doing. I think we won't have a very good neighbour.
Oh, we're not going to say that to him.
But that is the implication of what we're saying. It's the implication of what we're saying.
What?
No, we don't have to say
how we have been talking.
No, but it's simple. Why make a complicated issue out of this?
To just say what we feel about it, and we don't want him to do it.
Well, I was trying to include what Francois was saying.
Well, he said that teach all the world a lesson of how to behave. It's impossible.
We might try something else, as they do and did in India. If I owe you something, you come and fast in front of my door. You understand? You blackmail me. Only you don't call it blackmail, but you do it for spiritual reasons. This has happened, you know. I know people who have done it. They don't want you to do something which they think is wrong. So they come to your house in front steps and remain there fasting till you are forced by circumstances to eat what you want. That's what partly Gandhi did. So if we resort to that kind of stuff, then I'm afraid that, Mr. Merton will have your police onto you. But surely we don't propose that, do we? No.
Let's go into the question outside of Mr. Morton, and let's go into the question of the killing, of the slaughter of the animals.
Of the slaughter of the animals.
Slaughter of the animals.
Because we in the other talks that we had, I think we were trying to get actually into the deeper question ourselves, and we always came to a point where we couldn't go any further. There's nothing.
What is the question, sir? I don't quite.
The question of the killing of the animals, and it's within ourselves.
Killing. Let's call it animals. Killing first.
Yes, killing.
Killing human beings. Wars. Killing human beings by economic means, right? Killing human beings with harsh words and gestures. Is that what you want to discuss? All that is involved.
Also about the flies being in the kitchen and annoying us, so we have to kill them, and people are wondering if we could kill them.
I know a group of people in India called the Jains who don't kill animals. Therefore, insects eat them. So they put on a mask and sweep the floor or the road before they can walk. Right? That's one extreme. But the same people are very rich and exploit people ruthlessly. Factories, and they're supposed to be not hurting animals, but they don't mind hurting human beings. So where would you stop killing? That's the point. You follow, sir? I mean, when you eat vegetables, we kill. When you put on leather shoes, you use the leather which has animals which have been killed for eating, and so on, so on. So where do you draw the line between killing and non-killing? When we were in Ceylon, two Buddhists, man and wife, came to see us. Buddhists, are not supposed to kill anything except what is absolutely necessary, like vegetables, nuts and so on. But these two said, we are Buddhists, we don't want to kill, so we eat meat killed by a butcher. So it's not our karma, our responsibility. And because we support that butcher, we change the butcher every week. And his real problem was whether they should eat eggs. Because eggs, fertilized eggs, contain life. You follow the reasoning?
Therefore, the problem is not killing but hurting.
No, where do you draw the line?
You can't live without killing, surely.
Well, let's find out. Where do you draw the line?
But when you eat a fruit, it's going to fall off the tree anyhow, so you're not going to kill. I mean, it's not like...
No, it's going to die eventually too.
Okay, animals will die and they don't start after they kill bad animals.
I must tell you also in India, there are shoes and leather goods made out of animals which have died naturally, called ahimsa. You follow? They worship cows, ill-treat cows, ill-treat their wives and husbands, whatever it is, and yet talk about non-killing. So where do you draw the line?
Isn't the important thing it isn't killing, because it's the act when you the thing is, like we learned in physics, in our physics class, in our chemistry class, we learned about energy. Now, energy cannot be destroyed. It can change form. But is that not what happens when we take a plant and eat the plant? We are not killing the plant, but we are changing the form of energy.
Energy, quite.
And it's the same.
Yes. Now the thing is, we can see. Can't we see a degree of suffering in the form, the physical existence that we have? We physically suffer.
Don't you ever sometimes think, when you think bite of an apple?
No, I don't. I don't think it suffers in the way that we suffer.
It has some sort. It's sensitive to the sun.
Good God.
I mean, where do you draw the line? You've got to draw a line somewhere.
It doesn't suffer. It's.
You say so.
Okay, well then what is suffering? What is suffering? Is suffering the change of form?
Or is suffering the lack of knowledge about changing form? the more sensitive, the more evolved, the more able of suffering, and also able to understand why, and therefore be free of it. There are degrees of sensitivity.
Why are you a vegetarian?
Me?
Any of you here?
I don't want to kill any animals. I don't want, I want to draw a line in the killing. I want to say that to kill an animal is not necessary for me to exist in the form that I'm in.
Right.
It's not necessary for my survival.
But you don't mind putting on leather shoes?
I don't put on leather shoes.
I mean, not now. When cold weather comes, you will have to use it.
Yes.
Or rubber shoes or whatever it is.
But
Go
this is
foam or
necessary.
something.
The leather shoes. Well, I think, in fact, leather shoes are not necessary anymore. At one time they
So
were.
where do you draw the line? And are you inflicting suffering on animals? Are you inflicting suffering on people? Your neighbor, your wife, your husband. So, what is the question? What is the issue? I told you the monks, there are certain types of monks who have put on masks and wipe the floor before they walk, so as not to hurt any insect. They go to the other tremendous extreme of letting animals like lice and others live on them. Thinking that, and yet their own mentality is that they don't mind hurting people.
But they're the same. That's where they're wrong.
I'm just showing it to you. If you are a pacifist, you say, I will not go to war, I will not kill another, then when you buy a stamp, write a letter, send a telegram, eat in a restaurant, or taxes, and you're supporting war. You understand? When you buy a shirt and pay whatever tax you pay, that's supposed to go. So where do you draw the line? Or do you go much deeper, is going to much deeper, not just do, superficial things, but very much deeper. Saying the cause of war is nationality, right? One of the causes. So, I will not be national. Though I have an Indian passport, I don't belong to any country. Right? I won't compete. So, you follow, which would be a much deeper issue than merely saying, well, I'm a pacifist and I won't write a letter. I don't want to cause suffering, therefore I'll eat only grain. Because they're mature, they're fallen, they're reaped. You follow, there's no suffering there. And I won't cause harm to another. That's one of the most difficult things to find out. I don't want to hurt another. You know how difficult that is? Have you gone into it? To find out what it means not to hurt another. By word of mouth, by gesture, by thought. And suppose you do something wrong. You hurt me either by speech or striking me or doing something. You hurt me to see that I don't retaliate. You follow? It's a very, very complex question. This is not just. I mean, like those people, I know a great many people who say, my father wishes and my parents wish that I should do this, and I am doing it because I don't want to hurt them.
But at the same time, you can be hurting yourself.
Look at it. You give me money in trust, I misuse it, and you say, what am I to do? Morally it's yours. You follow? Should you hurt me by going to law? I'm married to you. After a few years, I said, my God, I can't stand you. Huh? And I leave you. I'm hurting.
But that's only because you say something's right.
Just look at it, sir.
So what is the right way to live?
What?
Because all of these facts, what's the right way to live?
Let's find out how to live rightly. Knowing all this, knowing that there are wars, knowing people hurt each other deliberately or unconsciously, or they hurt animals, people by habit. After all, meat eating is a habit. And science is finding out it's much better to live on whatever protein is necessary because it's cheaper than maintaining cattle on a huge piece, acreage and all the rest of that. But yet we won't give up meat eating because I like it.
Some people say they don't feel well, but they don't eat meat. Some people say they cannot live without eating meat because they don't feel energetic without meat.
That may be merely psychosomatic, as Dr. Byrne was saying the other day. Eat enough soybean or protein or whatever it is, you've got enough fat.
There's more in soya.
So, shall we discuss this? How to live a life where one does the least harm to another? Is that possible? Which means the strong mustn't influence the weak. Please follow all this, sir. That means no propaganda,
At the same time, we ought to be careful not to hurt ourselves also, isn't it?
Not to hurt ourselves.
I mean, to live correctly also ourselves.
You see, that just it. Not to hurt myself and not to hurt you. When I say not to hurt myself, I'm already hurting you. No?
It's one, isn't it?
Huh?
It's one, isn't it?
That is, we are thinking dualistically, you and I. Huh? When I say I mustn't hurt you, and also I mustn't hurt myself, we're putting ourselves in an impossible position. So could we move to another level of this question? Is it possible to live with compassion? Yes?
Yes.
Then how do you express it in action? You're going to Mr. Morton, some of you, and say, look, Mr. Morton, how will you talk to him compassionately? Not in a sense of superiority, that he feels you are really compassionate. You follow what I mean? And that may be the right communication. The feeling that you have about people, about property, about trees, about the poor, the animal, compassion, the feeling. Then I'm sure you will listen. And you will do something. Or may not, I don't know. I mean, then we'll be acting rightly.
But are we compassionate?
That's just it. Can we live compassionately? That's the question. What is involved in it?
And where does compassion lie?
Obviously, it must be non-dualistic action. Right? There must be no feeling of we and they, me and you. As long as there is this division, compassion is not. And is this possible to live like that? And what does it mean in action? First of all, do I feel that way? Being free, never to call me, or feel the me. And that's a tremendous problem. You follow what I mean? It is not just Mr. Morton feels that here are a group of people who really feel these things, not just words, who their life, their way of thinking, their way of looking. I'm sure he is going to make a tremendous impression on him. So what does it mean or think or feel non-dualistically? This jersey is mine. I paid for it, somebody paid for it and gave it to me. It's mine. And you want it. Right? What should I do? I may give it to you. I'll give it to you. But I know somebody else will replace it. You follow? So, I have to have this feeling. And then the details can be arranged. You follow what I mean? Do I feel compassionate? That means in word, in gesture, in feeling, in thought, deeply inwardly. Which means love people. Never to be angry, jealous, competitive. You follow? And therefore never wanting to influence another. I don't want to influence Mr. Morton. Why should I? I tell him what I feel, what I think is true, and put it on the table for him to look at. If he refuses, look what am I to do? Beat him up? So can one live with this sense of compassion? We won't enter into all the problems of love because in that becomes tremendously complex, in which is involved sex, tenderness, kindliness, consideration, pleasure, and I don't know how far you want to go into it.
Can we be compassionate if we don't go completely?
I don't know. Is that all I'm asking you?
I think we need to go into it.
Beg pardon?
I think we need to go into it.
You need to go into it. If you do, go into it. I'm not going to push you into it.
How about you? Do you live compassionate?
What?
How about you? Do you live...
Me?
Yes.
Why are you asking that question?
Because you are talking about compassion.
Yes, I may or may not. I should find out. You follow? Find out. I may be deceiving myself, or I may be telling the truth. That's not important. It's for me to find out whether I am compassionate or not. Right? It's for you to find out for yourself, in yourself, whether you are compassionate or not. But if you say, no, you are not compassionate there, or there, or there, you follow?
Yes, yes.
Then either you are judging me according to your standard, therefore you're already a dualistic attitude. So can we together, not I and you, together go into this question. Put our minds and heart to understand this very complex problem. Because in that is involved first pleasure, right? Because all our moral values are based on pleasure. Like and dislike, right? So unless one understands this question of pleasure, it's going to act as a hindrance for further communication or further inquiry into the question. If one is acting, thinking, feeling in terms of pleasure, how can I be compassionate? How can there be compassion? I like you and I don't like you. Biologically, sexually, I am attracted to you and I am not attracted to another.
If this is a fact, if I can like somebody, I can like someone, well, it is a fact, what can I do about it?
But does that interfere with your being compassionate with the other whom you dislike? I dislike you. I'm sorry, I'm just taking. Because for various reasons, I dislike you. Why should I dislike you at all? First. Because you have your own ways, your own particular mannerisms, your own tendencies, your own values. Why should dislike come into this?
Duality.
Huh?
You still do.
What? No, you still do. That's a normal reaction. But why should you? You look at me and you say, well, I dislike him because he's a terrible bourgeois. Middle class or mediocre, right? And you condemn me, and begins this game of like and dislike. Why should you judge me at all? I am what I am. I am mediocre, right? Can I put away my mediocrity when you talk to me? That's where communication comes in. If I project my mediocrity, you can't communicate with me. I don't know if
Yes. But instead of becoming compassionate, maybe you'll become indifferent.
No, that's the danger, of course.
I know that's the danger, but
It is possible.
the thing about communication that we found out in the meaning of the word communication means to build together.
Together.
And if you put out your mediocrity, there's nothing to build.
That's it. But the moment you condemn me as being mediocre, you've already stopped communicating. And if I project my mediocrity, it's finished. So, knowing my mediocrity, can I communicate with you putting aside my mediocrity? I won't project my reactions. I won't say, well, I don't like long hair or beard or whatever it is. Can I, for the moment, put away all those and communicate? To put aside, I must know I'm mediocre. I must know my reactions. If I don't know my mediocrity, you can't communicate with me. It's very interesting, this.
And there's nothing there's no way of communicating with you? Or if I'm mediocre, then there's no way of you communicating with me?
Just take it. A man who believes in a Catholic, very strong, devout, practicing Catholic, how can you communicate with him? If you're also ardent believer, practicing Hindu or Muslim or a Protestant, you don't meet. And that's what's happening.
So, what he is then, like if he is mediocre, he is decided, he has a conclusion, he has stopped.
Of course. He refuses to listen to you, who are the avant-garde, you're the latest.
It's the same thing.
So, sir, look, from this, communication means, as you said, build together. Now, can we build together? A school, you follow? Build together with Mr. Morton. He has got his legal rights, his prejudices, his desire to, that's part of the habit. To kill animals, to eat them, to say by how good they are, all the rest of it. So can you go to him and feel this sense of building together, compassion, all the rest, and show it to him? Also, communication means two people willing to build together. 2 or a dozen or 100.
But we want him to build with us. And we want him to build with us. And it's not sure that he
won't.
want it.
He will not. And you have to point it out, and if he refuses, we leave it. What can you do?
If we say that, then you're doing the same thing, you're being dualistic.
Exactly. You may be very intelligent, compassionate, considerate, and I am not intelligent. How are you going to communicate with me? And that's where the whole world is like this. You follow? You are sensitive, you are intelligent, you are compassionate, and I am brutish. You understand? So can I and you, no, we two, we, here in this room, build together, knowing, being aware of our prejudices. And not letting them interfere. Oh, better stop. It's 1:05, we better stop.
It's 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Oh, 5 on... Oh, sorry.
Only 5 minutes.
What do you say, sir?
When we go to Mr. Morton, aren't we really sort of, isn't it that there's the pleasure of his hunt and killing is one aspect only, and we're really going to him and saying, look, have you ever thought of all these other things?
No, I don't want to say that.
But aren't we in fact doing that work?
No, I say, sir, please, we are a group of people. We don't want to kill on this place. I put it quite differently. Because we want to create a sanctuary here. We are vegetarians, we don't want to hurt people. We are really mean this. We look after the earth. You follow what I mean?
Because we've incorporated something more than just one thing.
It's include all that. We're looking after the gardens. We are careful. We're part of the earth and so on. So. And if you say, sorry, this is my law, my wish, I am agreed to this, then what can you do?
I mean, it's not like going to Lord Cheshire and saying you're hunting. I mean, it's not arbitrary. We're not trying to change Mr. Morton. It's affecting our 40 acres. That's why we're going to see him.
And we are living in a place where there is hunting going on. And we say, please, this 40 acres, please don't run. Can you please consider that? Put it very simply, you know what I mean? Appeal to his good nature if he has one. But if you go there moralizing, or you say, for God's sake, you know, once in Bombay, I went to get my visa for America to the consul. And the consul said, oh, you are very dangerous revolutionary. I won't let you go in. Listen to this. I won't give it to you. I said, all right, sir. He said, but I told him, I said, perhaps if I went to England, I know some people there who know the ambassador. He said, no, once I refuse to give it to you, it's right through. He said, all right. So he said, but come back 2 or 3 days later. So I go back, and he says, I read something about you, you're quite revolutionary. I said, so I won't give it to you. And they said, all right, sir, that settles it. It's like if you lock, somebody refuses to open the door to my knock, what am I to do? It's your problem, isn't it? Oh, is that the way you feel? He said, come in. And we went round, he talked to me about an hour. He said, all right, you seem fairly decent, I'll give it to you. Literally this happened. You know, these people like Mr. Morton, he's well established here. You follow? A lot of people depend on him, look up to him. Probably he's got to get, he can vote and influence people to vote in a certain direction. So he's a big man established here, and if you go and say, please, we want this, he'll say, go buzz off. But if you can, talk to him and show him what you feel. Not what he should do. That we are a group of people who are really serious. I assure you will do. So sir, come back, just come back. Can we communicate with each other? Which means build together. The school, the garden, the house, we build together, create together, the whole thing. Moment we form groups within this, we're stopped. Moment I compete with you, it's over. And if I feel superior to you, that's finished. After all, working together means meeting each other at the same level. Not inferior and superior. It doesn't mean that I may not know as much as you do, but you convey to me, even though you know much more, we are doing things together. After all, the relationship between the teacher and the taught, the educator and the one who is being educated, if there is this sense of communication that is built together, learned together, then the whole thing changes. It's real communication. Then information is not merely something to be crammed into your mind, but in the very teaching, giving of that information, there is communion, there is learning. Both of us. So, look, sir, let's communicate together, build together this question of not killing. Let's find out what it means. Not I tell you or you tell me, together we're going to find out. To kill another human being is called murder in anger, or because you ran away with my wife. But to kill, or in an organized way, war, is perfectly moral. For my country, for my God, for my king, for my whatever it is, for my principles, from all that. That is perfectly recognized as being true patriot, all the rest of the nonsense. Do you feel the same way as I do about that matter? Communicate together. Not that you and I agree together, which would be silly, but do you and I see the same thing as it is, not you interpreting it one way and I interpreting it the other.
Yes.
Can we do that? So that moment you see that, you will never kill another human being. Either or through organization or through anger. Is it finished? I don't know if you see that. Together we have seen that killing a human being with an anger or organized, killing is, but if we say, well, I'm a pacifist, I'll never kill. You've already taken a stand. I don't know if it's what. You've already created a dualistic attitude in yourself. As we said the other day, to come to a decision not to kill a human being, you're like a Catholic who says, I believe. But if you say, look, let's look at it together, communicate together over that question, then we are we both see the same thing at the same time. Like seeing a precipice, both of us act. You follow it? There's no question of your agreement and my agreement. It is there, the danger. And because we both of us see, we act together. I don't know, therefore cooperate together. I wonder.